Dems? I mean, bro, can we just call it truce for like 7 days, man? This one time, can we just call it truce and yeah, y'all just do what's right for the American people instead of just, I don't know, sit there in your soapbox. Can you just do what's right for the American people? Like, come on, man. It don't gotta be like this. But we'll see in 7 days what comes to be. All right, let's get into the next video.
On the same day, tens of thousands of patriotic Americans mourn the loss of Charlie Kirk. CNN chose to give a megaphone to one of the most divisive lawmakers in the country to smear his legacy. Democratic Congresswoman JASMINE Crockett injected race and scolded her colleagues for not opposing a resolution honoring Kirk's legacy, a resolution that passed just last week with 58 Democrats voting against it, 38 voting present.
One of the things I do want to point out that's not been laid out that honestly hurts my heart is when I saw the no votes, there were only 2 Caucasians. For the most part, the only people that voted no were people of color because the rhetoric that Charlie Kirk continuously put out there.
Why you gotta make it about race is crazy, but okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Because the rhetoric that Charlie Kirk continuously put out there was rhetoric that specifically targeted people of color. And so it is unfortunate.
No, he never targeted people of color. I mean, if calling out black crime statistics and black on black crime is calling out people of color, then I mean, like, come on now. What? Telling us the truth is wrong? Like, what? You don't want to hear the truth no more? How we need to fix our own community and not stop blaming white people when the biggest threat to black life is, well, another black person? I mean, what's racist about that? I mean, it hurts it may hurt our feelings, but it is what it is. It's something we need to work on. And if people are going to keep rubbing it in our faces, then maybe we just need to stop complaining and get to work.
That even our colleagues could not see how harmful his rhetoric was, specifically to us.
So much wrong with that statement. Well, speaking of divisive rhetoric, Disney has just announced that Jimmy Kimmel will be returning to his show tomorrow night after he falsely claimed that the suspected killer of Charlie Kirk was MAGA. FCC Chair Brendan Carr speaking at an event earlier before the announcement and denying that there was any government censorship.
Look, again, I think this comes back to where we started, which was a lot of the distortion that's out there. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel is in the situation that he's in because of his ratings. Not because of anything that's happened at the federal government level.
Facts.
Jesse, Jimmy's back.
That's one thing they don't really want to admit. For some reason, they turned Jimmy Kimmel into like a censorship martyr when it's like, no. He won, it was his ratings. 2, well, he can get hit by the FCC with news distortion. When you go out there and you say that the person who shot Charlie Kirk was most definitely a MAGA supporter, that's what he said. And he said that MAGA was trying to push him off on the left when no, he kind of confirmed that he was on the left. Actually, his friends also confirmed that he was in the left. I mean, really, in my eyes, my opinion, him having a transgender boyfriend was honestly confirming that he was on the left. So it is what it is on that note. But yes, if you go out there and say something like that, that is called distortion of news, which is a violation that the FCC can hit you under. So remember that part.
Well, he shouldn't have been in that position anyway. You can't act like Maddow when you're being paid to be Johnny Carson. This guy is lying about crimes. He's framing MAGA as assassins. He's supposed to be interviewing celebrities about their movies and telling jokes and dropping televisions out of the second floor window. They're not paying him to do this. You could do this on cable, but this is a late night talk show. You're supposed to be funny and make jokes, and then everybody goes to bed. I understand why he is coming back. He will probably read something that the lawyers wrote for him and act trite.
And this is what a lot of Dems don't know as well. Let me just fill you in on this part of the story. Kimmel got suspended not because of Trump, not because of the FCC chair, but because of Kimmel. Now, the ABC affiliate said, look, bro, you can just come in there, issue an apology, turn down the temperature, as y'all been telling us, and apologize. And if it's gonna be all good, bro, we'll continue the show, we'll finish you out to your contract, and it's all good. But he said, no, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna double down on MAGA and F what y'all talking about. He pretty much told his boss to go kick rocks, and he got suspended. I mean, that just makes perfect sense. And let's be real, most of us would have got fired. Most of us.
For a second. Some of us have been there. And then he will carry on and be the exact same Jimmy Kimmel that we're used to. But how much longer are we going to get Jimmy Kimmel? His deal's up in January. Is Disney going to put up with this guy? He's in second place. He's a headache. He's losing cash. It's a dying format, late night. I just don't see him going on that much longer, and that's fine.
No, to be honest, I don't think it's a dying format. I just think that some of these guys aren't really too funny, and then when you're just overly beating on Trump, it just gets old. That's the problem. I mean, like, you got to have new jokes, especially if you want to maintain a comedy show. It's like you just can't bash one party the entire time. Like, even I sit up here and I'll joke about Republicans and everything. I don't just sit here and just dog like the libs all day. It gets boring. We got to sit here and, make fun of our own side as well. And, other positions. So, yeah, it gets a little boring to listen to the same jokes over and over again, or the same subject being Trump and MAGA. It's like, come on now. And then here's the problem. I mean, don't you think he's losing mass ratings in all these counties that are red? You might want to think about that. Like, go ahead and look at that election map again and tell me, do you think it's like smart to be pushing anti-MAGA? Like, I don't know. And here's the thing. You can say whatever you want. If that's what you want to do, cool. But look at that election map and then think of that as your viewers. Are you sure it's okay to have that type of rhetoric? Like, and think you're just going to maintain viewership?
You know what, Tyrus? I mean, this isn't going to change the fact that his ratings were plummeting. We've put those up on the screen before. I'm beginning to wonder, I mean, sinister conspiracy theory here. Like, was this all a ratings ploy to get everyone to watch him again?
No, I think this is great for, what would you rather be canceled for? Sucking at your job, or the mean president took your job away? So for them, he's getting to come back. So you got to take the president out of it now, because now he's back. So there should be a huge rating spike. Everyone should be excited. And Jesse, you're wrong. You typically finishes third. Then it's Colbert. And then
I wasn't counting Greg.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
no, I'm talking networks. Networks, right?
Okay.
He's
But just
beating them.
to be fair,
He's not even on the network.
I just want to say, to be fair.
Thanks to you.
Yeah. Anchor, if there ever was one. But it's not about me right now. But
Right.
the point is, like, of course he's not going to change because he doesn't have a reason to change. His whole thing was the best thing for him was to stay gone, because he would have been able to say for the rest of his days that the evil Trump MAGA got me.
Yeah.
And all his.
He could have maintained being a martyr, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I wasn't gonna let him do it, because we all know the real story. It's like, dog, they told you to apologize. You told him to F off. That's why you really got suspended. And then let's be real, ABC's already got like 2 strikes already for unfair political coverage during the election. And the whole rapist saying that Trump was liable for rape. They got sued $15 million for that, but they could have also got fined by the FCC. So are you sure you want to go out here on this limb and do this? Are you sure you don't want to listen to your boss? And like I said, he said, F him, I'm going to do what I want, and I'm going to double down on MAGA. And they said, okay, buddy, go sit at home. And they let him back. He's back on. But now he loses the whole, martyr of free speech. He kind of loses that.
Pundits and would come out and say free speech is being taken away, and now, like, nope, here's your ball back. You got a slap on the wrist, act right. So then the next time he gets canceled, and it probably will be before January, it's going to be about the ratings, and you won't be able to blame the president. I'm glad this happened. You won't be able to blame the FCC. You'll be able to blame Jimmy Kimmel for not being funny.
Dana, returning to Jasmine Crockett for a moment, because we can't let that go unaddressed. She said only 2 Caucasians voted against this resolution. Mm-hmm. No one should have voted against this resolution. And I have here the text of it, condemning the assassin, commending law enforcement, extending condolences. I mean, Mike Johnson mentioned he intentionally kept this tight so that everyone could agree and come together, but she could not.
Well, I mean, we could go through and count how many people on the left would vote to censure Ilhan Omar. I mean, if we want, we can keep score. We can do that. I would counter her argument with this. And obviously, I am not a black man. But this morning on America's Newsroom, I interviewed 2 young men. One works as a TP, Talking Points USA. Talking Point.
That was a good interview.
Turning
Point USA contributor, and the other is at Campus Reform. Both young black men who said that Turning Point USA gave them an opportunity to do what they wanted to do on campus, but it was Charlie who gave them the inspiration and the confidence to do it. So Talking Point, golly, what's wrong with me? I am back from vacation. Turning Point said, okay, here's the venue. here's the organizational skills, here's what you need to know in order to put on an event. But it was Charlie himself who said, I'll show you the way and how to articulate with ideas. And they took it very, very seriously. So I think that those two young Black men I interviewed today who are heartbroken, that they would take a lot of issue with what she had to say.
Well,
Yeah.
I think I'm sorry, real quick. The reason why you
Man, I
keep
don't
saying
care.
talking points, because that's all she was doing, was making talking points. And what bothers me about the media, they never say how so or
Right.
examples of.
Yeah,
Because
they
that's a pretty
don't.
strong statement.
I know, because if you ask her how so, or so how so, or can you name what was the speaking engagement where you heard this racist rhetoric at? They won't be able to tell you. Actually, if you ask anybody who's hating on Kirk, who hates Kirk, all right, why do you hate him? What did he say? They're probably going to point to like a 30-second clip out of an hour and 30-minute speaking engagement. Like, dog, do y'all not see what y'all do to yourselves? I mean, y'all can at least get, I don't know, maybe like the full 5 to 9 minute debate, but y'all won't even do that. So the problem is that you ask a lot of these people, all right, so where are you getting that from? They're probably going to point to a 30 to 40 second clip and end up making themselves look stupid. Like if I ask Jasmine Crockett or AOC, all right, well, where did you get that from? Why do you think he's a racist? Because he's actually debated against racists, like literally cooked one in his crowd for being a white supremacist. So, I mean, if it was ever the time to show that he was a racist white supremacist, it'd have been then. And he kind of went against the guy. So let's be real. You guys aren't going off of full context conversation. You're going off 30, 40-second clips that triggered you. And now you think, well, Charlie Kirk's a racist or a fascist or, well, whatever bad ad hominem attack you want to put on him.
To make about somebody, but they never seem to have an actual factual situation of Charlie saying any of these things. They'll take assert here, a thing here. He'll call it out. He keeps it real. And sometimes keeping it real isn't comfortable.
It was like right before I left when the New York Times took that something that he said and that he was quoting someone else, but the New York Times just clipped it and made it look like he was anti-Semitic. It was crazy. And then they had to correct it. But of course, the correction is this big. The headline was
Actually,
gets no attention.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Here it is. The perfect example right here. I appreciate you, Gene. You're the perfect example. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Yes. And he only said that because of DEI. He said if DEI didn't exist, then he would feel more trusted if he's seen a black pilot. So it's like, it's like this. Because of affirmative action, when you see a black student on Harvard, did she get in here because she had good test scores, or did Harvard need another black face? Like, yes, the same thing as that. So DEI did black people an injustice because it made people doubt our skills. If there was no DEI or ever affirmative action, I mean, Charlie Kirk could never make that stance. And if you listen to the full conversation in context and actually watch the show, or at least like a 10-minute clip, y'all probably got the full context just off 10 minutes. You don't even got to tune into the whole hour, 30-minute show. You'd have understood that, my friend. But thank you for being a great example.
You know, Harold, the vote to condemn the Minnesota killings of the Democratic local lawmakers was 424-0. Every Republican voted to condemn that. Why could 55% of the Democratic caucus not vote to condemn the assassination of Charlie Kirk?
I don't know. They should have voted that way. I said in the outset, I'm surprised for you. You lay out a great example of the way I've read you read the resolution. You laid out the example of the Minnesota lawmakers. This was an assassination because the guy was speaking his mind and speaking his political views. There's no place for that in our society. There's no place for that in America. There's no place for that in our political tradition. And I just hope that we never, ever have to have another vote like this in the Congress. But if there is, I hope that people can rise above whatever the differences may be. I didn't agree with Charlie on a lot of things. There were things that he said that I found disagreeable, but what I found most remarkable about him is that he was willing to debate openly, freely. And his real objective was to try to persuade you that he was right. Just one thing on Jimmy Kimmel. I'm happy that he's back, not because I agree with everything he says, or I even watch his show, or I even find him funny. What I don't like is when government says that you can't have someone on air because we don't like it. That's what happens in state-run control media. That's what happens in countries that have.
No, actually, honestly, the viewers were pretty much saying that. And the ABC affiliates were saying that. The one who broadcast their show, who broadcasted his show, they're the ones who said that. Not Trump. Trump didn't get nothing done, and neither the FCC. They didn't move a finger. It was the ABC affiliates and Disney. I mean, if y'all want to get mad at them, get mad at the corporate elitists y'all say y'all hate so much. All right.
That including China and Russia and North Korea.
The Biden administration.
If what markets decide if people should be on air, the reason
the markets did decide his ratings are poor. So, I mean, that's the best market decider in television. Like, hey, you got poor ratings, my man. You're only doing like 1 million views a show, and you're Jimmy Kimmel, and we're paying you like 16 million. I damn near want for a view $1 a view. If I'm paying you 16 million, I want 16 million views. God damn it. Is that too much to ask for? But I'm only getting 1 million. But yes, you can look that up. The man was only getting 1 million views a show.
The guy at our network, My Pal, is number one because people watch him. And if the network wants to lose money, they have every right to do that. What I don't and will never agree with, and I'm glad to be joined by Ted Cruz and Rand Paul on this, is for the FCC commissioner and chair, whomever it might work for, saying we can do this the easy way or the hard way. So I'm glad that he's back because it's a win for free speech. I don't agree with everything he says. I don't even find his jokes altogether to be that funny a lot of the time. But that shouldn't be for the government or the president or any regulator to decide.
The government didn't decide it because he's back tomorrow. So quite clearly, the government didn't force this.
But Kaylee, when the president of the United
That's
States,
what I'm saying. Like, he's coming back tomorrow. So that is the proof that the government didn't force it. Or else you guys will be waiting on Trump or the SEC chair to be like, okay, yeah, we're going to let Kimmel back on. They didn't even come out and say that they put him off. That's the crazy part. I do not like the argument of how y'all trying to make him a free speech martyr when literally this man got himself suspended. Suspended, not fired, but suspended. Like, man, where's the, never mind. I'm asking for accountability for you guys, and I got to learn my lesson. Y'all just do not want to take it. But shout out to my man, Monty, man. How's it going?
So it's going great. I just got a question.
Mm-hmm.
So while Sid was just rage baiting so hard the other day that this is the government getting in the way and yada yada yada, and the FCC threatened him and blah 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 blah. I'm pretty sure the threat the threat still applies, and he's back on the air. So what is it? Did ABC get threatened by the FCC, or did ABC make a business decision because he made a comment in poor taste and has shitty ratings, and now is allowing him back on the air?
Man. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't make sense how you guys are trying to say it was Trump or the FCC. I'm like, if you actually look into
because he'd be off permanently. If you could even give that argument credibility, he wouldn't come back on in 3 days.
Actually, if we get to give the argument credibility, he wouldn't have been suspended.